He does not move. The small clan of Australopithecus huddles in the low morning light, their long arms and hunched shoulders forming a tight, anxious circle. In the center lies Old Hand. Yesterday, he was the clan's memory, the one who knew the secret paths to the salt lick and the rhythm of the seasons. Today, he is just meat, but he is not meat. The scent is not of a fresh kill, but of a slow, quiet stopping. His eyes, usually crinkled with a deep knowing sharpness, are now dull, empty pools reflecting the vast, indifferent sky. A young female, her face a mask of confusion, reaches out a hesitant finger and prods his leathery skin. It is cold. The cold is what frightens them most. Warmth is life. The sun on their fur, the heat of a body pressed close in the night. This cold is an intruder, a silent thief. This is the brutal, defining reality of prehistoric life. It does not end with a roar, but often with a simple, baffling silence. The children, sensing the profound wrongness, have ceased their chattering. They cling to their mother's legs, their wide eyes fixed on the still form. One of the dominant males, a heavy-minded-browed hominid named Gor, nudges Old Hand with his foot, a gesture of impatient frustration. He grunts, a low, questioning sound that rips through the quiet. But there is no answer. This is the precipice of a new and terrible understanding for these human ancestors. They have seen death countless times, a gored herd-minus beast. A raptor is snatched by a larger predator. But that is the death of others. This is the death of one of them. The emptiness Old Hand leaves behind is not just a space on the sleeping ledge. It is a hole in their shared mind. He took the memory of the 3-day rain with him, the knowledge of which grubs were safe to eat after a fire. His stillness is a threat to them all. Their paralysis is dangerous. The air itself is thick with the constant hum of a world that never sleeps, a world of dinosaurs. A shadow sweeps over them, fast and fleeting, as a pterodactyl arcs across the sun, its quiet dry shriek that scrapes the nerves raw. From the dense cycad forest to the east, a low, guttural bellow echoes an Allosaurus announcing its territory. The clan flinches as one, their grief momentarily eclipsed by a more immediate, primal fear. They are small, soft things in this ancient world, and their greatest survival tool has always been their cohesion, their ability to move and think together. But Old Hand's stillness has broken that unity. They are frozen, staring into the first great mystery. Come, trace the scent of their confusion, and feel the immense weight of the first question ever asked without a voice. As the sun climbs higher, a young female named Dila looks up, away from the body. Her gaze drifts past the canopy, toward the distant, rolling hills, and there, she sees them. Their necks are like the trunks of fallen trees reaching for the sky, their movement slow, ancient, and utterly serene. The river giants, the Brachiosaurus. Ela watches them. The great beasts move with a slowness that speaks of time itself, their immense bodies drifting through the acacia groves like living mountains. A Brachiosaurus does not fear the snap of a predator's jaw or the shadow from the sky. They are too vast, too ancient. They simply are. The clan has always seen them as part of the landscape, no different from the river or the stone cliffs. But now, staring at Old Hand's chilling stillness, Ela sees something new. The giants' heads are always in the highest branches, their long necks reaching for the very sky that has swallowed the warmth from their elders' eyes. A thought, formless and potent, takes root in her mind. It is not a thought of words, but of images, the slow, inexorable march of the giants toward the horizon, the place where the earth meets the sky. That is where they go. That is where Old Hand must go. She points, a long, urgent finger stabbing the air, first at Old Hand, then at the distant, marching silhouettes. A series of low calls and guttural sounds follow, a desperate attempt to paint the picture in the minds of her kin. Gor snorts in derision, seeing only a foolish risk, but others say what she sees. The spark jumps from one mind to the next. Authentic, hopeful fire in the face of a cold reality. The giants are timeless. They walk a path to the edge of the world. To carry Old Hand, there is to give his stillness meaning, to give his spirit a journey to follow. This is the seed of foresight, not of planning a hunt, but of planning for a soul. The decision is made not by a leader, but by a silent, collective turning. They will carry the body. It is an active, profound, illogical altruism, a rejection of the brutal efficiency that has governed their hominid history. They weave a crude litter from thick vines and the broad leaves of a fan palm. Lifting Old Hand is a struggle. He is heavy with the dead weight of mortality. The males take the lead, their powerful arms straining. The females form a protective perimeter, gripping their primitive tools, the first examples of osteodontocratic technology. One holds a club made from the massive femur of a lesser herbivore, its weight promising to shatter bone. Another carries a spear, its wooden shaft tipped with the sharpened, serrated tooth of a slain raptor. These are the instruments of their survival skills. Scavenged from the very monsters that dominate their world, they move out, a small, somber procession leaving the relative safety of their rocky overhang. They are now rest bases on an ancient turf that belongs to others. Their path takes them down from the ridge and into a humid, thickly wooded valley, a place they instinctively avoid. The air is different here. It is heavy, still, and carries a scent that triggers a deep, primal fear. The sweet, cloying odor of rotten, the sharp, musky reek of a large carnivore, the Tyrannosaurus. The forest gives way abruptly. The clan emerges from a thicket of ferns and stops, stunned into silence. Before them lies a valley of giants, a place where the earth itself has swallowed the great beasts. Colossal ribs, bleached white by 1,000 suns, curve out of the ground like the altars of a half-buried cathedral. Base spine, each vertebra the size of a large boulder, snakes across the valley floor. A skull, longer than any two of them lying end to end, rests on its side, its empty eye-socketed arc cave staring into eternity. This is no mere collection of dinosaur fossils. This is a testament to an unimaginable scale of life and death, a masterpiece of natural toughness. The air is still, heavy with the dust of ages. This is the place for my lost vision, the end of the giant's path. This is the heart of the prehistoric world. Carefully, they carry the litter forward, their bare feet silent on the bone-miners strewn ground. They are a procession of tiny, fragile beings navigating a graveyard built for gods. They choose a place sheltered by the massive pelvic girdle of a long-minus dead Brachiosaurus, a nook that feels somehow protected, sacred. They lower Old Hand's body to the ground with a gentleness that is entirely new to them. This is not the rough disposal of a carcass. It is a placement. GOL. The pragmatic male hesitates for a moment, then reaches into his own hip-pouch and pulls out a sharp-edged flint. Old Hand's favorite tool. He lays it in the elder's unloving hand. It is a gesture of profound, unthinking significance, an offering for a journey. Ela adds a single, blood-red hibiscus flower, placing it on his chest. In this silent, sun-drenched valley, they have invented the first ritual. They have created an answer to the cold silence. A deep, reverberating boom echoes from the valley walls, shaking the very bones beneath their feet. The clan freezes, their found solemnity shattered by ancient terror. It is not the hunter they evaded. It is something else, a sound of impossible weight, the footstep of a true tyrant. Far on the opposing ridge, a silhouette appears, its massive head and saw-toothed jawline unmistakable even at this distance. A Tyrannosaurus Rex. It is not hunting them, they are too small to be worth its notice, but its presence is a brutal reminder of their place in this world. It is the king of this kingdom of death. Yet, the clan does not bolt. They huddle closer together, a small knot of fear and fear under the shadow of the dead giants, guarding their own small, significant dead. The great predator moves on, and as the echoes of its passage fade, the clan finds it has not been broken. They have faced the ultimate fear and performed their act of devotion anyway. They have discovered that a shared purpose can be a shield against the abyss. They do not know it, these shivering, hopeful Australopithecus. But what they have done in this valley will echo far beyond the shadow of the tyrant king. They have not found a gateway to the heavens, but they have forged something far more powerful. Culture. This fumbling, desperate ceremony is the first knot tied in the long thread of human belief. It is a strategic response to the paralyzing terror of oblivion, an act of defiance that allows the living to keep living. For a species armed with little more than clever hands and a dawning consciousness, the ability to create meaning from meaningless would become the single most important tool in their arsenal for survival. The first grave, the first ritual, the first story told to the silent dead, these were not signs of weakness, but the forging of an invisible armor. It is the armor our species has worn through every age since. The quiet insistence that a life, no matter how brief or brutal, will not simply be erased. How else does a creature of flesh and bone begin its impossible climb to stand against titans, if not by first learning to honor its own fallen? Our chronicle of these lives is not a history of bone, but a history of breath, the first gasp of wonder, the last sigh of grief, and the defiant whisper that gives it all a name. The echoes of their footsteps fade, but the path they carved remains,